Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome back to UNA's The Main Stage. It's Rocket League action tonight. Myself, Mr. Pepic, and the wonderful Volts are calling this big matchup between UNA and Auburn University. Volts, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. It's Friday, so it's always a great day. Weekend upcoming.
Oh, yeah.
If you're an Auburn fan, you're already having a great day, like Pepic and I. Big win today in March Madness.
Yeah.
Huge win. You never want to, the two versus 15 games scare you. And quite frankly, Pepic, this one could shape up to be kind of a 2 versus 15 here. Auburn definitely the favorite in this series, but UNA has that upset potential.
I'm with you there. I definitely think Auburn, with their experience, with their just pure rank value, I mean, these guys are SSLs, against UNA, who are in the SSL range, if not very, very close to it. They have a chance, but that's not the greatest of starts, as Bro Turkey puts one off immediately from the kickoff.
Yeah, this is a great look on kickoff there. That's why you always cheat, and Bro Turkey was keen to that one. So 3 seconds in, Bepic, and Auburn already with a lead.
Well, it's a solid start for the favorites in this best of 5, but that's how we play the entire best of 5. Though Auburn right back to action. Bro Turkey wants a second of his own. He'll set it off the ceiling and polish it off himself. Why not? Turkey just cherry picking on the back wall.
This is a rough start for UNA. Again, you had potential in this series to pull off an upset, but these 2 early goals, it's already tough to play against Auburn when the scoreline's level, and it's even tougher when you're down by 2.
And for those that are unfamiliar with this format, double round robin in 2 groups of 3. Right now, Auburn 1-0 with a 3-0 game record. UNA the same. So this is a battle for first place in Group A, and it really sets the tone. As I think this will be this 2-game series against this 2 series sets, rather, between UNA and Auburn should determine who that top team is that'll likely face Alabama in the grand finals.
Which makes our last week of competition even more interesting, Bepic, because again, this is just the first meeting between these 2 teams. They will meet again in 3 weeks' time. All right, now Hub is going to be called on to stay last back and defend this. Gray got over one. Gray almost found the angle. Back wall defense from Red Dead Pie, and that's a good little hang there from UNA. Really starting to establish some defense, and now they're walking it out from defense into offense.
Exactly what the doctor ordered, a good defensive stand against a tough Auburn offense, though they cannot stick in their offensive half just yet. Small steps for UNA. Gray forcing Hub into some quick steps into the corner as he bumps him out of the way instead of Rocco for a shot, but Red Dead Payne the save, and then Hub the clearance. Good work by UNA. They've stemmed the bleeding at the very least. 90 seconds in, still 2-0 Auburn.
Galleon's going to need to have a huge game here, and that is not what you want. Is, I believe, a defensive mistake here. It's almost an own goal of fashion, Bepic.
Well, Galleon got footstooled by, I think it was Gray coming in. No, it was Vroko. That was Bro Turkey. Oh my, third time's a charm. But either way, he got his path altered when he was going up for the jump, and then the ball just took an unfortunate skip off his car into the back of his net.
Yeah, that's a good play from Auburn as well. The disruption plays, really, as it felt like UNA was starting to get a little bit comfortable. They were disrupt some of the movement, get a couple good bumps. Bro Turkey with a good flick, Gray with an open net, and the disruption continues. Bleeding is reopened. That wound, Bepic, continuing to gash. It's 4-0.
We thought it had been all sewn up, but Bro Turkey very content to rip it back open. Great setup for Gray. His challenge game right now, Turkey's, that is phenomenal. UNA just can't do anything about it. Now, down 4 goals in the first 2 minutes, they're really going to have to find something in the back half of game 1.
This has felt like the longest game in the world to UNA. They just can't quite slow down this onslaught. Urko with a good read, just didn't quite have the follow-up touch, and Galleon, unfortunate break there as Boom catches his own teammate. Is Gray just faster here? Hub will at least keep it in the orange zone. And the midfield domination is what UNA are going to have to fix, because Auburn is just all over them as Gray erases Hub. The pass here trying to link up. That's a good cutout. Red Dead Pay right there. That's a good attempt to keep this one. Red Dead Payne having a good game thus far, Bepic, but it's probably not going to be enough, and Gray will put a 5th one away.
No, full team is going to have a good game to take down Auburn. Right now, the Tigers are just faster. They're challenge game superior, and at this point in the series, that's all they need to have with regards to advantages. 5 goals off of really simple plays, 50s, setting up potential extra touches, teammates for open net finishes. It is a simple style of Rocket League, but an effective one when you've got mechanics and when you've got speed. And right now, the Tigers have that, though. UNA a chance to get on the board. It was stuffed, but that's the closest they've been.
A good pop here from Galleon. Double pinch to keep it away, and it's right back to Galleon. Shot coming through will be seen to the side by Bro Turkey. Hub and now trying to clear it out long. Red Dead Pain with a good pop. Galleon up, and this was a good attacking attempt there as Vercro didn't quite have the read in the corner. Bepic, really at this point, if you're UNA, you just kind of want to avoid game one. Put it out of your minds here. Right. Again, of course, you're going to finish this one out. You'd love to grab maybe one for the road. But at this point, just pretend that the score line doesn't exist. Focus on getting into rotation, getting comfortable. They looked a little bit shell-shocked here with the speed.
And learn how Auburn likes to move as well, especially Bro Turkey. If you can get a read on Bro Turkey, your difficulty level in this series should decrease a bit because he has been by far and away the best Auburn Tiger in the last 2 series that they have played, at least the full last series and then this one game so far. He facilitates, he finishes, he's been doing it all for Auburn, and if UNA can find some way to take him out of this series, it's an easier best of 5, but still a hard one. There, Galleon, finally on the board for UNA.
This is a great momentum builder for UNA here. They're finally able to grab a one. It's a good dunk as well.
On to Bro Turkey, we should add. They dunked Bro Turkey, so perhaps starting to finally to read him. That's an important step for North Alabama.
Yeah, it's a great stat for North Alabama. There's Bro Turkey. Has been the driving force of that offense. 2 of 3 on shooting. Here's Varco wants to add his. He missed it near post, and what a half flip flick. As it will get it out of the danger zone for now. Hub called to defend this one, and Bro Turkey didn't quite have the boost facility as Gray's looking for a big double. He doesn't have the angle, but Varco will be there to tap it in. 6-1. Auburn still in control. But this is at least a good little defensive stand here. Forced a couple decent attempts, and then that's smoke and mirrors right there. Big triple commit. I didn't even know who hit that one.
It's funny. We've been talking so much about Bro Turkey and Gray this game. I forgot that Vroko was even playing. I mean, he's on that main Auburn roster that nearly made CRL a couple of months back, and he's been relatively quiet. And I say relatively because he's got 2 goals to his name and a chock-full stat line the entirety of Auburn does. But Bro Turkey's really been doing a lot of the work, Gray a lot of the finishing, and Vroko, he's done plenty as well. Just haven't said his name too much. 6-1, the final in Game 1, Volts. That was a bit of a wash. Game 2, hopefully a bit closer.
Yeah, just going to need a better start from UNA there. Again, if you look at how the game went, they gave up 4 of those goals in the first half and only 2 in the back half. They also found one of their own in the back half. So again, just need a better start, a little bit more, I would say, preparedness. It's tough, Bepic, to practice against speed and talent like this because it's hard to reach this level and find people at this level who are willing to consistently compete with you.
I mean, that's what these tournaments are for. That's what's so beautiful about these smaller tournaments is it's practice for UNA. It's practice for Auburn as well because in those big ones, like the CRL qualifiers, you have to play teams that might not be up at your level, and you might have to play teams that are at your level. That's how a big bracket works. And so it's experience for both sides. And on a more micro scale, at Game 1 experience for UNA. That's their first time playing against the speed of Auburn. So now they can start to develop a read what Auburn likes to do and maybe counter it in one of these games.
Yeah, I think Game 2 is going to be a lot closer here. I think they now have a grip and an understanding of what this Auburn roster really likes to do. And this will affect game number 2 drastically. I don't know if UNA is quite ready to pick up a win as Bro Turkey will keep this one level. But I definitely think, as we can already see, they're going to find a little bit more offense, a little bit more stability on defense.
If I were a betting man, I think I would say that UNA definitely can pick up a win here. I think this would be a 4-game series. I think that's what I said in the green room before we got started here. Volts and UNA, they make me look a little smart there. Great counter, beating out that last man and Gal in a beautiful finish.
Huge pop from a hub. I mean, what a pass. Around one, flick pass over, and Gray was not ready for that one. He was still in the midfield area expecting his teammate to keep it in the zone. So that's a huge beat there. Again, really liking what I'm seeing. They're playing with a little bit more urgency here, Bepic. They know they don't have as much time as they're used to. And when they do get that possession, there's going to be an Auburn player on top of them. Auburn does not give you any space. And another huge dunk from Hub here will start one more offensive go-round.
Ooh, but a beautiful potentially three-man passing play. Vroko couldn't receive. The defense collapsed, and now North Alabama looked to transition out, but it is denied. Bro Turkey launches a shot on net. Red Dead Payne, that's the easy save. A relatively simple defensive test for him, but now Auburn started to ramp back up. They're starting to get that offense churning once more, and that is not where you want to be. If you're UNA, you got to defend shots like that. Fortunately, their crossbar took the brunt of that one, shot a little bit off target.
Parker would like to put that one home using that Batmobile hitbox. He got a good piece of that one, just couldn't quite sneak it under the crossbar. As Galleon now will look to launch it again. This time, Hub's up. This is an inverse of what we saw goal number 1, but no one able to find a real dangerous touch there in the huge clearance from Gray. Big dunk from him in this corner as well. And Galleon forced to go as Hub was dodging a demo attempt. Pro Turkey, not the touch he wants, and Hub doing a really good job. This Hub and Galleon connection, the extensions from defense to offense, are really propelling UNA right now.
They're finding extended stays as well off of these long transitions, though they got to get back on defense as well. Bro Turkey, I'll say open net, because for a player of his caliber, that is very open, even with Hub jumping after it and Galleon on the floor. Auburn going to tie things up.
Yeah, Hub just got caught rotating front posts there, Bepic, and it's sometimes the simple things against these high-level teams, making sure you're facing the right direction, making sure you're in the right position. If he's back post there instead of front, he's able to at least contest that shot and maybe force it away. And so just have to make sure your basics are on point. Good teams handle the basics when they're playing great teams.
And so far, UNA, they look pretty good in this one. See if they can close it out in the back half. That double commit not going to help their case, but they found the clear. Vroko, a mistake. They'll set up Hub for a shot. Top left. He got a little help from the man in the orange Batmobile, but it's a UNA goal nonetheless.
Midfield pass, and I mean, you can't put that any better. I know Markro taps it in, but that's top left corner. That is the last little bit of room you have to put that ball to where it comes back towards the net, towards that box, rather than out. So credit the placement. I know it's helped in, but that's a huge second goal. And UNA, the confidence goes up every time they score.
They made the most of that mistake by Vroko in the midfield, though. Quick counter opportunity. Bro Turkey shot off target. Vroko, though, making up for his previous mistake in spades. What a redirect that was.
And he picks up one bump, two bumps, and then the backflip into the corner. Vroko is causing all kinds of problems. Oh my goodness. Love that shot, and big players make big plays. 2-2 here. Auburn not out of the woods, and UNA not out of this one, but definitely back on track, especially when you can do that.
Yeah, I'll say that's where having a team full of highly mechanical players, high skill players, comes into effect. Gray had Bro Turkey and Vroko doing a lot of the work in this game, and then steps up, hits that shot, and just like that, Auburn takes the lead.
Big lead for Auburn here. The first time they've had a lead in game number 2, been playing from behind or level, which is not in the cards for Auburn, at least as far as the main stage goes. They've led the majority of every single series and game that they've played so far. And so a new place they had to play out of now, but backhandedly in control. Galleon's going to look for a huge pinch here. He does find it. Vroko had the read. Bro Turkey going to keep that boost in the possession of Auburn and then take a huge 50 at mid to buy his team some time. And Gray's just fast, Bepic. I think that's the best simple analysis I can give of his play style.
He is very fast. And speaking of darting across the field to get that ball taken off the hood of a UNA player and then set up a string of 50s at the center line. Bro Turkey, though, losing that one. Now Hub, potential shot. He chooses to set it up, but Red Dead Pain not quite ready for it. Going to have to take things backwards. UNA still down a goal, and I think, did Gallion get bumped off of that? I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, I think he's going to get tapped here, and his momentum is just going to carry him across. Yep. Oh, that's more than a tap. Okay. Gray got a good piece of Gallion here. I thought it was a little bump, but that is depossessing and removing a player from the play.
And Auburn, once again, finding nifty ways to score the ball. And if this result holds, they'll have themselves on match points. And that's a miss. Hub to react in time. Gallion getting out to the side, out of danger for the moment as Auburn just trying to control the last few seconds of this game, too. Don't let it get too close. Keep it controlled. 5-2. Easy does it.
Yeah, this one's starting to spiral out of control here. It took Auburn a minute, Bepic, to really weather the storm, but once they got going again, you can tell their confidence is just beaming. They have all the reads, their placement is on point, and this one, it looks worse on the scoreline now than how competitive it was for Game 2.
And to think it was just a couple of bursts of mechanics from Auburn, bursts of game sense that got them into this position, and now it's 5-2. Bro Turkey forces two up off the back line. That's a good save from UNA. Not going to allow any momentum into the back pockets of Auburn at the end of Game 2, maybe. I mean, a lot of possession for the Tigers, but well, it's UNA. They have a lot of thinking to do about how to counter this Tigers squad going into Game 3.
Yeah, and it's a tough task there, Bepic, because they found the recipe that worked for about 2/3 of game number 2, and then Auburn, with the complete switch up, starts building some momentum. You have a pinch from Gray that gives them their first lead, then a huge bump from Gray, and it's going to be a difficult task because teams as good as Auburn are able to adapt, they're able to overcome, and really, at this point, it requires 5 perfect minutes of Rocket League out of UNA.
And that is nearly impossible to do against a team like Auburn. Like I said, they've got the experience to adjust on the fly. I've seen them do it mid-tournament, mid-game in those difficult best-of-3s in tournament fashion. And they did it right there. UNM, no, they found what worked for a bit. Perhaps they can get that good start again. They're just going to have to find some way to continue the first half into the second half of Game 3 and stifle whatever Auburn throws at them.
We'll see what the task arises. It's got to be a hot start for UNA. Can't afford to play from behind, Bepic. When they get behind, it seems like they really have difficulty, I should say, keeping their morale up and keeping the momentum going. Like once it starts rolling from behind, they really start to get buried.
And they're going to figure out this communication as the Auburn rotation is so fast. It is throwing UNA for a loop defensively. That was nearly a goal because two players just on the goal line already pulled out of position from a previous shot on target. Auburn is unrelenting. That's why they've put up 11 goals, make that 12 goals in now 2 games in about 30 seconds. Their offense just does wonders to stretch UNA so thin.
I liked your little hesitation there as you waited to see if that one was headed in. Gray didn't get too much on it, just 37 into the back of the net.
And we're not going to see a fast start from UNA, so they're going to have to counter what Auburn's doing at the moment. And right now, the only way I see them countering things is either A, with a lot of demos, just tough to do, and it's tough to catch up to Auburn players, or B, outspeed them, which, as Vroko just demonstrated, is near impossible to do.
It's a great shot from Vroko, just faster than Hub, and Gallion not quite able to rise up and to get any kind of piece of that one there, keep it out. It's a rough start for UNA, Bepic, and Auburn will look to pour on the pressure. As we've seen, they don't show any mercy, no prisoners taken, and they are not afraid to put this one out of hand, but it's a good response. What a pass from Gallion.
Well, they don't show mercy intentionally, but they are forced into it a bit there. Gallion, that was nifty. I've used that word a couple of times now, usually to describe Auburn's offense, but Gallion getting creative offensive. That's what you got to do when you have your moment. Be confident in your abilities and make offense happen. Galleon out of nowhere setting up that one, and then Hub, a great save on the defensive end. Perhaps there is life yet on the UNA side.
What a read from Hub there. This is a double commit, though, for UNA. They're a little bit awkward, and Galleon low boost was not able to get that one clear. Hub low boost will be forced to just pop it up, and Varcrow will at least keep the pressure for the time being. Passing play coming through, and Bro Turkey just faster, keen to that pass. He's used to seeing it. And it will be cleared out for the time being, but Hub will send it right back where it came from. Hub's going to have a look because of the demo. He just can't put it away.
That's the near perfect Rocket League we talk about, needing to happen to beat Auburn. That is a blight on your record, and Auburn not going to be too happy about how close it's gotten here. Bro Turkey especially, he gets two off the ground, and Auburn, they've held scoreless for some time here, and it's been about a minute, it feels like, but a third goal feels imminent.
Yeah, Auburn held scoreless now for almost a minute 20. Had some opportunities there. The issues seem to be the double commits on the back end. It really doesn't seem like UNA knows who's supposed to be challenging some of these, and by the time they figure it out, Gray is just going to be faster.
And again, stretched so thin. UNA on their back line. Red Dead Pain, last man there, about 10 boost in the tank just from having to quickly rotate back into position to save these shots. It's so tough. We're running out of ways to complement Auburn and their speediness offensively because it has gotten them this far. It's gotten them now 14 goals in 3 games. That is an impressive stat line.
Indeed, it is. It really feels like UNA just panics on the back line a little bit, Bepic, as we have this one stall in the corner. Continuing to stall in the corner. Finally, Bro Turkey's going to be able to get it out. Musty back mid does not come off in possession to North Alabama. Can they make something happen with it? Varcrow's a little awkward. Galleon will just push him into it and effectively pull shot Varcrow into an own goal.
Broke up all alone, had to buy some time. I think thought he had a little less than he actually did. Maybe not anticipating the bump coming in. I thought Galleon was closer, and then panicked a bit in that Batmobile. So, 1-goal game. Just past the halfway point. Again, it is close. UNA, they have had their chances, and they have made the most of a good portion of them. However, Bro Turkey is still in this lobby.
Every time they get close, Bepic, someone from UNA, or someone from Auburn, really, just makes that game-changing play, be it Gray with these ground pinches, Bro Turkey with the beautiful double. Auburn has a switch that they sometimes leave off for a little bit, but when they flip it, it's almost an immediate goal. This is a huge response. Hub just can't get around it.
Now Gray, chance to maybe put this game to bed. Still 2 minutes to play. Rocco goes up for it. Bro Turkey centering ball. Rocco keeping it alive offensively for Auburn, but Hub, a good challenge one on that side wall. No one in position to follow it up, though. Too far back, too little boost in the tank, more than likely for UNA as they try to get into that play. Perhaps this string of challenges one will set up offense for them, but they got to clear the zone and not vacate the net. Unfortunate there, 5-2 Auburn leads.
Bepic, that might just be the dagger here, as we've seen these leads be extended to this 5-2, 6-2 range, and UNA is yet to be able to prove that they can overcome these. They still have time, but it's hard. It is very, very hard. I mean, look at that. 12 shots from this Auburn team and still nearly 2 minutes left to play.
No, but Red Dead Pain not quite done with this series. What a dunk. That is a jump and pray situation. And Vroko, it's him again leading to the goal for UNA, but still a great play from Red Dead Pain.
Pre-jump in a half there. He picked one spot to cover, and it was the spot. But here comes Gray trying to get that quick response. It's high off crossbar, and the follow-up will clip Gray as he squishes out of the net. The redirect here might have kept this one from being saved.
And like you said, every time UNA starts to gain a little ground in this series, an Auburn player, this time it was 2. I'll give that to both Bro Turkey and Gray, as they were the ones that set it up and knocked it down. But it's so fast to respond. I mean, UNA, yes, they're a bit out-mechanicked, a bit outsped in this best of 5. But when they started to get things going well for them, Auburn so fast to respond. And this response worthy of 2 goals.
This is a huge, huge learning moment for UNA here, for just what it's like to compete against these top level teams that just have this ability to pour out in a just true onslaught of offense here. I think it's almost like a wake up call, Bepic, because this is a very talented UNA team. They just
Hmm.
have some basics to work on. The communication breakdowns happen
Right.
just one too many times against a team of this level.
So with this win, Group A looking like it's posturing towards a battle for second with UNA and JSU, those two competitors. Though UNA, if they do take home some lessons learned in this series, perhaps we'll still have that battle for first. But right now, Volts, Auburn, with a first blow of epic proportions, their offense was just unbeatable here.
Yeah, there was nothing that UNA could do. I mean, the mechanics just look too good. The shot attempts are crazy, as Broturkey wanted to come off the ceiling for that one. Here, their offense just firing on all cylinders. They came out ready today. They didn't play down to their opponents. They did a really good job of doing what teams do. You beat who you're supposed to beat, and this is a true beating.
A little bit of insight since I'm from the Auburn camp. This is the top three. Last week we saw Hums, I believe, playing in place of Vroko. I'm not completely certain if that was the roster they ran with, but I know Hums is the top sub. So this is the full iteration of the Auburn University main stage squad, and I think this is a team that can most certainly contest Alabama, who we've seen also dominate their group so far.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge, huge matchup rolling to the end. Auburn and Alabama definitely look like the two favorites among their respected groups. And speaking of Alabama, Bepic, they are up next.
Yes, well, not this week. We've got them off spring break.
Correct.
They will be playing next week, I believe. We might have a triple header as opposed to our normal double header, but tonight it's just a single header, unfortunately. So hopefully you all enjoyed the show. It was a great battle for some solid portions of some of those games, but Auburn ultimately too much for UNA Volts.
Yeah, 15 shots is going to be a ton there, especially when 7 find the back of the net. So, again, lessons learned, some great replays to review, and definitely some positive takeaways for UNA. And, of course, Auburn going to be happy with their performance.
They will. Sitting atop Group A now. So we thank all of you for watching tonight. We'll see you same time, same place next Friday for more Rocket League action. But of course, follow the UNA Esports channel to stay up to date if you want to watch Valorant and League, who, I mean, those two competitions have most of these teams as well. So more school versus school action, just in different esports. So make sure you follow there. Thanks to Brandon G, of course, for producing and doing everything he does. Incredible man behind the scenes. Volts, thanks for joining me in the booth. Thanks for all of you for watching, and we'll see you next time.